you?
Good, how about you?
Very good.
This is Going to the Podcast, episode 54. Introduce yourself, let them know what you do.
Thank you for inviting me to the podcast, Reed. My name is Amadou. I'm a baker and a chef in Manhattan. I happen to open a bakery inside Kelsey Market called House Bakery. Mostly European specialty, right?
And what led you to get there? Like what passion brought you to that?
I mean, it's a long story, you know. Before, you know, I love food. I mean, let's start with that. Where I come from, food is the center of the family, right? You have your friends, you have your family. Basically, in Africa, food is just the center. But when I come in here, I start to work for restaurants. I was a pastry chef before, you know, hotels and restaurants around the city. And then in the last 10 years in my career, I started doing more bread. You know, I was fascinated by bread, you know, which is something that you think is basic, but is something as old as the world. Yes.
In this journey of yours, what do you feel like some of the biggest challenges that you had to overcome and you still like to see?
I mean, let's say as a chef, and specifically as an African chef, you know, let's say in general black people, there's not a lot of in the industry, you know. Not a lot because it was not something that a lot of black folks tend to do. Like, first of all, it's something that you are passionate about at the beginning. You don't make money, right? It's passion. And then you realize your passion can be also an opening door for people like you, right, that want to get into the industry. That's the biggest challenge. And then you have to work as 3 times harder than, you know, the white folks in the industry, because you have to prove yourself, right? It's not just a question of the color, it's beyond that. It's just you have to excel in this industry that is very competitive, right, to be on the top.
So for those who, let's say, are where you were years ago, trying to get to where you are now, somewhere close to you, what would you give to them, and what would you say?
Keep pushing. Don't stop. It's gonna be times where there's no money, right? But once you have passion will drive you to be who you want to be where you want to be, right? You're gonna have to struggle because to be a chef takes years. It's a mastering a skill, and usually the skill is one of the few industries where the skill is passed down from a chef to chef. You know, we can be creative, but all of these things that you see I do is being passed down to me, right? By people that I stage, I trail, sometimes I work for free to get where I am at, right? And the rest you become creative. You have to have a stamp, right? It's not just it's no more the loaf of baguette or the loaf of sourdough that I'm making. It's the journey. You look at my bread, you can see there is a refinement. There's a classic, if you know what the baguette is, and then you see these beautiful baguettes we make, and then you are like, wow, you know, this is a journey. This is where I am at. This is where I start, but this is where I want to be. By looking at the products, But the product in general is a simple thing.
So now, with the other episodes, most times we went on that topic of doing it versus, like how you said, taking it and making it your own.
Yes.
You feel like you see that a lot within the industry as a chef, anything. You feel like there are a lot of people who are just doing it just to do it rather than doing it to make it.
I mean, that's a subject that is pretty a little philosophical in getting. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day about sometimes you hire people, right? You have a team of people, and you wish they want to be like you. You wish. Because if you hire someone, you wish the person one day want to open a bakery. I'm a baker. I wish every of my students, every of my employees want to open their own one day. Right? But it's not always the case. You will have an employee. Your question is very actually philosophical. You will have an employee. It's just a job for them. Right? They don't want to be creative. Right? It's hard. I made a mistake at early opening because I'm new and owning my business. I started to understand I can't yell at everyone. Right? Yelling is not good, but at the same time you yell at something that you care about. Because you care about the person that much. You don't want the person to make a mistake. You want the person to be as maybe better than me. When they do something, they execute a job, you want the job to be like spotless. Well, I'm like, wow. And from there you are like, wow, you know that person maybe want to own this one day. Right? And that's another thing. It's like, yes, there's a lot of chefs out there. They open bakeries, they don't want to be creative. They just want to make money. They want to make numbers, right? I'm making 100 baguettes a day. You're going to go to some bakeries where the guy want to make 200 baguettes, 300 baguettes a day. But the person don't care about quality. They don't care about aesthetic. They want the numbers. So that's a different thing, right?
And then also, I got into thinking about like how somebody might take their passion and turn it into something bigger. Like how we were speaking of before.
Yeah.
I like photography. I like doing video and stuff like that. And then turning that into a way of making money. Sometimes what happens is, it like kind of sours because you then turn it into a job and it kind of changes the way you deal with your passion. Do you feel like you've seen that at all?
I mean, that's passion can be a slippery slope, especially if you are broke, right? If you're broke, there's one thing that passion become. You're passionate about photography, but you're broke, right? Let's say you're broke. You're gonna go and do things that you don't like. You want to pay your bill. That happens a lot in the industry. But that also takes maturity. Because you have to suffer. Because we're not all the same. Yeah, there are people, they're born with money. They can do whatever they want to do. Right? They can just start a company because they have the money. Right? They can hire you or they can hire me. We're going to do, but that's their passion. They want to own maybe whatever, a production company, right? But they're gonna have to find somebody like you. So that's another thing. Now you're working for someone that owns a company. You just make the money. You can be creative, but your name is not there. You don't own it. You have a 9-to-5 job or whatever job you have, hours you have. It's become your passion can turn you into that, but there's no more creativity. Because you are on the book. You are on the book. When you are on the book, that's a different story. I've been there as a chef, as a pastry chef in hotels and restaurants. I can't, the owner of the restaurant or the bake or whatever it is gives me this window. Tells me, hey, this is what I want. I don't care about. Yes. Don't make me something fancy because I don't care about it. I'm paying you for this. There were times where I had those jobs. It was very miserable. You go to work and you can make something extraordinary, but no, you can't. Because the guy is telling me, no, don't do this. I'm paying you to do this and this and this. Like you will have some days you wish you don't want to go to work. It happens before. Or you go to work, you get bored. I mean, that's bad. Right? And then you end up quitting your job. This happens just like that. It happened to me. There were jobs that they were there only for me to pay my bills. That was the hard time. Sometimes you compromise too. It's hard. Let's say I have kids. I'm married. I don't have kids yet, but you have kids. You have a responsibility. Sometimes creativity can buy into that you have a family to feed. Versus somebody that is a single guy, can accept certain things or can move on, but you can't quit your job because you have a family. So that's another thing.
And then also, so another big thing that I see in the next day is the oversaturation. So everybody's trying to do everything for the same thing. Like in every town, let's say there's 100 people that want to start baking. There's 100 people that want to start baking. 100 people that want to start baking. Do you feel like anybody should ever limit themselves, or not per se limit themselves, but do you feel like everyone should be a boss?
I mean, that's impossible to achieve. There are going to be always people that own businesses. There are going to be always people that are hired to run those businesses. And there are going to be always people, because life is a constant change. Things are not there just in a stagnant way. It's not life. The society has to grow. I have to be a chef for a certain period of time, and then I have to be maybe one day a business owner. That's a different thing. I'm moving on to different things, right? And now everything that I learn, I'm passing it to somebody else. That's growth, right? It's not because the societies are built on that growth, like people passing on what they know, and then they retire and they die. That's the challenge of life. That's what it is. It is what it is. You can have 100 acres, but then, you mentioned something earlier about oversaturations. Yes, that term, I think I can apply that mostly to people, industrialization. People that are into heavy industries, that are into making fabrics or shoes, right? Like you have a brand that makes 10 different kind of shoes. That I can call that oversaturation. But if the city, for me, if there is hundreds of organic bakeries in New York, is a plus for New York, because New York needs more bakers. We don't need more grocery shops where people go and buy bread that was made 2 weeks ago, packed with all the chemicals. That's a different thing. You have to see things differently, right? But we need more local bakers. If you had a bakery like this at your neighborhood, you'll go there in the morning to pick up a croissant, but you don't. You see, that's another thing about. We're going to go back to talking about the minorities, the blacks, Hispanics. Like imagine there's not a single baker like me in your neighborhood, which is terrible, right? It's the culture that we don't have, or we had it to a certain point, we give up because we become lazy. We are easy to be sold for like industrialization. We like going grocery shopping. We like going to Costco, right? And it's not good for us. You know, we develop all this disease, diabetes, and all of that because that bread is not a living bread. We don't call that a living bread. So what I do here is called something in French, le pain vivant, the living bread. You know, you see us the way we work. We come in the morning, we fold the doughs, we ferment them during the process for the next day to you take, and it's made kind of life. That's the living bread. So, you know, that can, you know, we can talk about this topic broader and broader and broader. We're not going to please talk about this. You know what I mean?
So, I guess we'll go away from the
Yeah, yeah.
As a baker, you know, you put your time in, bring a chef. What's your favorite bread?
My favorite bread is the simpler bread. It's the loaf that is more simple but very hard to make. Like let's take this piece of baguette. I love baguette. When I wake up in the morning, I have my coffee. I have crispy baguette. I have a little butter on it. I'm satisfied. Right? So the simplest, I'm very creative, but the simplest, the better for me. Right?
Why do you think that is?
Because that's how I am as a person. That's how I grew up. Even the way that I eat savory food, the simpler the better for me. But I like quality. It doesn't mean it can't be quality when it's simple. Simple is in a sense for me. That's how I live my life. That's how I dress. I don't dress flashy. I like simplicity. I like subtle colors. I like things that can last. That's me. That's very personal. Yeah.
I told you last time. Whenever I see you, your outfits do always look on time.
Thank you. But you wanna. But that's a reflection of a personality. You know, I don't dress to please people. I dress comfort. Things that I like. I feel comfortable on these clothes. I can wear it all and all. It's timeless for me, right?
So let's look forward to 5 years from now. What do you think everything is going to be?
It's hard to say. You know, it's hard to say. You know, I'm in this journey. Anything can change. You know, maybe 5 years from now, I can have different interests in life. You know, I'm gonna grow older, and maybe I wanna be traveling. I wanna go more often to Africa and see my family as I'm growing older. And you know, it's hard. It's hard to predict what's gonna happen tomorrow. For me, it's very hard.
So I would call you an artisan. You know?
I'm an artisan, yeah.
Do you feel like when you go out to like these different food places and stuff, do you feel like you can see bread more since you're eating it?
True.
Yeah.
I'm very picky. I voice my opinion. I'm sorry. It is what it is. If things are bad, I say there they are. If they are excellent, I'm like, wow, this was the best sushi, or this was the best rice I ever eaten, or this was like, wow, this salad is very good, right? And so it's in an honest way, you know. Or I go even to a coffee place, a guy that makes me a cortado or cappuccino, I can notice the beans because, and then I'll tend to come back to those places. You know what I mean? So you know, I critique a lot, but it can be in a good way, and you know, critique can be something positive and negative. You know, it can go both ways.
I understand this. I know I went through that same thing where it comes to like after I started making videos and stuff. I started recognizing that I was like moving different.
Yes.
I like that camera angle
Yes.
and stuff like
Yes,
that.
of course.
Do you feel like it's a good thing to automatically, and then also you're a chef as well, so it's like that interdisciplinary aspect when it comes to like going out and experiencing food.
Yes, it should be like that. It should be you should be able to grow. That's the growth, right? You're shooting with this camera. Let's say you shoot with this camera, and you go home, you watch somebody else's podcast or YouTube. The guy is using a different lens, right? He cares about shadows, right? Right? Unlike a lot of people, his mind is set up. He likes shadows, right? It's totally a different take on art. You might say, okay, oh my God, this is amazing. This guy, I watch this over and over and over because he has his own style. He found this camera he likes, this lens he likes. It's like the way he plays his light. Because I have a lot of people that do cameras, and I talk to them. They say, you can have, it's funny we talk about that. I have a friend of mine, he's a photographer, he comes to take my pictures sometimes. He hangs out with me. He's an artisan. He's an artist, right? He's not a fashion photographer. He uses photography as an art. It's a different thing, right? I have another guy that I know that comes, takes a picture of the food, but it's a different light. It's a different style. It's very commercial. You can just see both of them. You can see the difference between these two guys that are doing the same thing but totally different fashion, right? The other guy, the way he plays his light, the other guy, no, this is a commercial for him. He gets paid to make this. He doesn't care about the art. He give you back your pictures, you post it, you do whatever you want. The other guy cares about art. He cares about shadows. He cares about coming early or coming late in the evening. You know what I mean? So it's a different thing.
So that's that. Looking back around to that initial question. From all that we spoke about today, what would you like to leave to the audience? Whether that be someone who's just a creative trying to make something for themselves, or someone who's in your industry, as I know that you kind of touched on that. It don't really matter if you're trying to do the same thing, as long as you put your own spin on it, your own creativity, you bring it to the table. That's something that you would do.
Can you reframe your question again? Because I would like to understand it more, right?
So, based on all that we were talking about,
yes.
If there's somebody watching right now is either trying to create something for themselves or create something like you, what would you leave them?
I mean, I think, for me, what I advise people is to question everything. Question everything. Don't get into a lot of jobs because you want to make a big name. Have something that you're passionate about, right? And then you will be creative. At the end, you will be creative because you have passion. Nothing is worse than having a job that you're not passionate about. Right? For me, that brings stress. Why would you do something that you don't like? Right? For me, stress is, I can't be creative when I'm in a space where, I don't know, it's me. I'm sure it's all people like me as well. They wake up in the morning, they want this room of creativity. I'm not making $1 million here. This is a guy that works for Google and creates whatever he creates, and he's happy making $1 million. But I'm happy selling a loaf of bread. So it's a different thing. There's a lot of pride into that. And then you become creative and you become satisfied. And also satisfaction became something that is very, very personal. We are different. What satisfies us all as humans? What makes you happy? So it's happiness for you and for me might be two different things.
That was great.
Thank you.
Thank you, man, for your
Thank you.
time.
Thank you so much.
I'd say, to drop your name one more time, where you are, where they can find you, social media and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm, we are inside Chelsea Market, as I said earlier. The name is the bakery is called Out. Stand for my name. It's like A stand for Amadou, L stand for my last name Lee, F stand for Fancy Bakery, right? And then you can find me at Amadou Lee, so you can see my other places, bread, food, or you find me on Out Instagram. You see the world, and that's it.
That's good.
Thank you, great. You have a great day.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, you can do it.
Anytime. Have a great day.